Hello and welcome back to another Rlcs recap video. Wow, it's the quickest Rocket League day of all time. I think the day in total was like 3 and a bit hours, maybe max. Yeah, 18-0 the teams go, and I'm pretty sure in my original predictions video, which I did actually do yesterday because I was busy, so I left it to the last second. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had this one being very one-sided because it just felt one-sided. Like, these matchups on paper just aren't great. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, and it was kind of one-sided. However, I'm not gonna lie, the games were still enjoyable. So a lot of times you get 4-0s that aren't enjoyable. I think these Ninjas and Dignitas ones weren't really that enjoyable. Ninjas look really, really good, and Synergy had no answer whatsoever. It just never once looked like they had a chance in that one. And same with the fast forward Dignitas game. It was very, very one-sided. There didn't seem to be. I mean, they had an overtime once fast forward, but it seemed kind of out of nowhere. Growly sort of popped off and scored two. Scored an assisted one, I think, but he looked really nasty for a second. I think that's why they had a decent game there. But otherwise, yeah, those ones not so close. Up here, these 4-0s though, they're a little bit better, I think. The Vitality Gentlemates game, Gentlemates, man, it was just the control really. I think Vitality are a team that have been doing this for a while, and all their players have, and they don't really give up space, they don't give up boost, they don't collapse their structure. Okay, if their structure is broken by another team via demos or, I don't know, quick rotations or constant pressure, that's when Vitality crumble. But this Gentlemates team couldn't really put any of those on Vitality because Vitality was controlling the game so much. They were controlling the pace of the game, definitely controlling the boost. I can't remember. One of the commentators said, which is, they need to do more facts like this. They said that in one game, I think Vitality had a whole 1,000 boost more than Gentlemates. They collected 1,000 more boost. That's obviously going to make a huge difference. I mean, I don't think I have to say that. So yeah, I don't know. It just looked reasonably simple. Gentlemates couldn't get in, but Gentlemates, they look good. How good though, I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But yeah, Gentlemates alright. 4-0 though is brutal. I mean, I think it could have been maybe a couple. They could have maybe had one, max two. However, the best series of the day was this one. This was the most competitive. The GK Carmine series was pretty close. The first game was very back and forth. It looked like GK were doing the same thing they did to beat Carmine Corp the previous time, which everyone knows was just sheer pressure. With Ole back on the Batmobile as well, it looked like maybe they were just gonna find their way to a victory. Also, I'd say I got all these winners correct when I predicted my stuff yesterday. Well, obviously, but yeah, no, I think with this one, it's definitely the closest series, and it felt the closest. But a 4-0, even still, you know what I mean? The 4-0, like, the first game, I think it was a clutch goal or clutch couple of goals. I know GK didn't score in the first one because they were defending so well. The ball was getting cleared up, and they were getting chances. Not like they weren't getting chances. It was back and forth. Carmine scoring just in the overtime, I think, to win it. Atto, just the first sort of, I don't even know, mistake. The second game as well, Carmine got off to a great start, and it didn't look close, and it looked like the series was just going to get away because GK, not saying they put all, I know they played really good in the first game, but it's not as good as they can be. But even still, it was them playing their format, they're playing their structure, and they still lost. I thought maybe the second game that might hit them, and I think they went 3-0 down just to nearly make the comeback. It was 3-2, and in the very last seconds, Joyo had an opportunity, but he couldn't flick it. I think he was going to try and reset it over the goalies. He couldn't, but it was close. And then the third game, It was maybe the closest one. I think GK were 2-1 up, then went 2-2, and then overtime they lost again. Yeah, I think there was a bump play in there from Vatira that worked really well. Yeah, this is the thing. Karmine Corp are just so good. The system they play and the way they play, even when, sure, they can't get their mechanical stuff off and score like tons of goals a game and be extremely offensive because GK are doing really well defending, it doesn't mean they're not going to win. It doesn't mean they're not controlling the game. They controlled this series because they always had GK on the back foot. And the only way GK could score was scoring from counterattacks, pretty much. Which kind of sums up that although this was a 4-0, there was an opportunity for GK to take games. I think the first 3 were very close. The final game, not so close, but that, you know, what you expect, really. You're 3-0 down, you probably think it's over. Yeah, so that one, it was a bit, felt closer than a 4-0, but it was definitely very much still, the control was a 4-0. Karmine's control was a 4-0, but the way, there was options and there was chances, and it could have been a bit different, but yeah, every single game a 4-0, the Karmine GK, a bit closer than others. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to quickly predict these ones down here. I mean, I'll keep it quick. The day was so quick, there's not really too much to say. The teams that won were just way too good. That's it. There was an imbalance. Everyone knew there was an imbalance in these matchups. No one was expecting these matchups to be particularly close. Okay. I got Nip beating Gentlemates. Sadly for Juicy, he looked quite distraught, rubbing his eyes and stuff. I don't know if he was crying. I hate when they pan to players when they're crying. I think it's a little bit of an invasion of privacy. Although I do get it, you know, that you would show that if that happens on your broadcast. It's a little bit weird, but yeah, got Nip winning that one. 4-2. Ooh, 4W. 4-2, I'd say. I think Gentlemates, when they're not playing, 4-2, 4-1. Nah, I'll stick. Yeah, 4-1, 4-2. 4-2 is a bit closer. The reality is not going to be that close. Down here, I've got GK. They've got Dignitas's number. I think that the series the other day when they beat them up here, they beat them 3-1. Yeah, up here 3-1, 3-1. I think that made it 3-0 against them versus Dignitas, and yeah, I think they know how to stop them. It never looks particularly close. I know Dignitas didn't play as well yesterday, so if they play better, it will be closer, and I do think it will be closer. I think this one's a 4-2. Could even go 4-3, but I think GK, for the way Nick on RL, their coach, is talking about Dignitas, and even the way some of their players talk about Dignitas, they, like, not that they don't rate them, but they think they're way better, so they need to prove that. They need to prove that big time. Anyways, these top 4, it's interesting because these the top 4 I think are going to go to Rally, so it's interesting to have them all in the semis. Luck of the draw. Yeah, Ninjas aren't going to be able to do it. I think it could be close though, so I'll give it 4-2. Karmine just looked really, really good. Vitality GK. This one, I really don't know, you know. I think the way Vitality are playing, they look just a bit better. I don't know what GK's run against Vitality is. How often do they even play Vitality? I swear they actually don't play Vitality. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to see them get blown out again. And if they beat Dignitas, they probably won't. Look, something has to go to the 7, surely, because I can tell you this final is not going to go to 7. This final, sadly, is going to be another 4-2, and like I predicted previously, Karmine Corp is going to win. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. That's what happened today. Easy enough to talk about. Just teams getting blown out, teams doing the blowing out, and yeah. Maybe I should explain why Dignitas win 4-0 here, but they, even with all that momentum, they're probably not better than GK still. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. If you found this video interesting or enlightening, it was quite a simple one to talk about today, so not that much, I can't really put my analytical head on, just teams being better than other teams on paper and in-game. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you found this recap interesting or enlightening, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you think it was rubbish or it was useful. And as always, I'll catch you tomorrow for the Championship Sunday recap. Thank you.